We own all of this expensive camera gear and we hopefully use it a lot. But if we use it a lot, we need to take care of it. And especially, we need to clean it. In this video, I want to talk about how to best clean your camera gear. I am, of course, a Leica shooter, so I have my Leica cameras here to clean. But this video is also for people who are not Leica shooters, who use other brands such as Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Canon, whatever you're using. I have my Leicas here, I have my Ms, I have my Q and my SL. I'm gonna do chapter marks so you can jump to the model you own. If you are not a Leica shooter, the best I think is you jump to the SL system or maybe the Q system if you have a compact camera, but the SL system is probably in cleaning terms works the same as, for example, a Nikon C9 or a Canon RF, whatever. I don't know the exact product names. I was always a little bit afraid of cleaning my camera, especially the sensor. In this video, I want to take away the fear for every one of you to clean your sensor by yourself. This is something, of course, if you are afraid of, you shouldn't do. I'm going to show you how I do it. And I was afraid in the beginning as well, but it's actually pretty simple if you have the right tools. We're going to clean an M sensor and we're going to clean an SL sensor. We cannot clean the Q sensor because, of course, the Q has a fixed lens. If you want to see how I clean a sensor, you can jump to one of those two cameras. I start with the M system because I think my M cameras are the ones I clean most because, of course, they don't have a weather sealing, so they don't have a dust sealing as well. If we look at my M, you can see I have a screen protector here. It's a little bit damaged here. I will at one point exchange that, but I don't have a spare one right now, so I'm not going to do that here. I use a half protective case most of the time, so my camera actually on the body looks pretty clean. Here I have some dust here because I'm proud of my cameras and I like to display them at home. I have them all on a shelf. So dust is a theme here. And then I have the thumb support. And now, before we start with that, one of the most important things is to take off your rings. So you do not scratch the cameras. So let's take off the thumb support. And then we can see we have here some marks. We'll see if we can get rid of them. First, let's talk about the housing. So cleaning the housing. For that, because it's dust, I use some cleaning towels for glasses. I have here a little lens cap with just a little amount of water in it. And I'm just gonna take a little drop, very, very careful. And then I'm gonna clean it with water here. The M is not waterproof, so be careful with the water. It's only just like a little drop to make the towel a little bit wet to get those little dust particles that we cannot wipe away. I have one of those, basically I have two of those. I always use a bigger one because it just has more power. You can use the small one for the housing and also for lenses, but the power of the small ones, they're not that good. I would always recommend to take a bigger one that looks like a rocket. This really has power. Then I have a lens diopter mounted on the camera because I cannot see that good. This is full of dust, so we need to clean that as well. We also use the towel for the glasses, so it does not scratch the lens. This is not cleanable, so I ran it once through running water, and then we take a kitchen towel, and it's basically the same way as I would clean my glasses. Important is that you take a soft kitchen towel, not one of those harder ones. It looks pretty good. And of course, we need to clean it here as well. Keeping your viewfinder clean with the M camera is essential to use the rangefinder focusing system. Equally as important is to clean these two windows as well. This is pretty dirty. I will not see the rangefinder that good. You just take your cleaning towel from the glasses. This looks good. It's the shadow that looks dusty. It's not dusty anymore. Let me also shortly remind you that if you are a regular visitor to my channel and you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to not miss future videos. If you like this video, please also give it a thumbs up so it gets more visibility. Those are basically the two things you can do to support my channel and giving me the chance to do more videos like this. Thank you. Let's talk about the lens. Now we clean the lens here on the back side. We also clean the mount. We dust off the lens. Dust it off with the good tool. This lens has a filter on it. Then I want to try to get off the filter. It's stuck. There's also a trick for that. Just press your hand against the filter, turn it, and then it gets off. It's pretty easy. And I can't stress enough, don't be afraid of touching the lens with your hands. I'm going to clean it anyway, and with like this, just glass, with every glass, I'm just gonna put it on the water, have a kitchen towel, and then just wipe it off. Those of you who are wearing glasses know how to clean glasses. The filter is basically a glass, so you can just clean it the same way. Here I would also say you can use wet lens cleaners, towels, those you can buy in the drugstore. Don't use them on the camera bodies, and I wouldn't use it on the lens glass as well, but you can use it on a filter. And the space between the lens and the filter, it's just like the stuff where always dust comes in. You cannot avoid that. Oh no, we still have a little bit. And then before you put it on, dust it off. Don't dust it off over the camera, the filter, because then the dust drops on the lens. We don't want that. And now you just put it on. The sensor, before we clean that, we can check if we actually need to clean that. There's a function in the camera menu. When we go to the last page of the menu, we have sensor cleaning, and there you have a menu point, dust detection. How does it work? You need to take a picture of a white surface, like this table, for example, that has constant lighting. You need to turn the aperture to like the biggest aperture you have. I have 16, sometimes you have 22. Then put focus to infinity, and then just point at this surface, at this white constant lit surface. Take a picture. Now we have to do it again. Of course, we have to take away the lens cap. And now you can see I have dust on my sensor. And this I maybe can take away with air, but if I cannot take it away with air, I need to clean it with a special tool. Let's first try to take it away with air. If we take away the lens, of course, the shutter is closed. To clean it, we need to open the shutter. We again go to sensor cleaning, and then we go to open shutter. Yes, I want to open the shutter, and now the shutter is open. So let's take away the lens, and now we can see the sensor. And first now we can just dust it off, and I cannot stress enough, take this big tool that looks like a rocket. I'm going to link it in the description. Also important when dusting a camera is that you put the camera down and dusting it like this. So the dust can fall down on the table, and not if you do it like this, it will just go up and down on the sensor again, and we don't want that. We want to fold it out. So when we're done, we put back on the lens, and then we turn off the camera. Takes 10 seconds to turn off. Perfect. Now we're going to repeat the photo, the dust checking photo, so we can see that we got all the dust. Go back to sensor cleaning, dust detection, and we're checking aperture 16, and then we take the picture. Now we have dust on other spots. It just happens. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean the sensor with a special tool and some liquids. The good thing here is that the camera does not have IBIS, so the sensor is fixed. We have no chance of moving it, so it's actually pretty easy to do. If you're afraid, don't try this at home. I did it 100 times. I also learned it using a YouTube video years ago. I'm going to talk about the right tools, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Please do it only on your own responsibility. The sensor is the most delicate thing in your camera. I have here my little pouch. I have here the sensor cleaner liquid, and I have the cleaning swab. Before I open that, I'm gonna again go to the menu. I'm gonna open the shutter. I'm gonna take away the lens. Before we clean it, we clean the mount. We don't touch the sensor with the towel. We're just gonna dust it off again. Then we're gonna open our cleaning swab. And we now have this liquid here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have 1 or 2 drops, and we just put the drops on the edge here, and we just swipe that tool over the sensor. It says 1 in each direction. I do it several times. Always had very good results with that. I mostly use a second cleaning swab after the initial cleaning, which is only dry. So if there is a little bit of the sensor liquid still on the sensor, that dries that off. And now we can see that it is absolutely clean. And now we put the lens back on. We have to switch it off. And now we have to do this photo again. And it can happen that we still have dust on the sensor. It just can happen because I had it open. There's dust in the room. It's a little bit of a patience game. And now it looks absolutely clean. Perfect, right? And this is how you clean an M. The SL system. The special thing about the SL system is that it has IBIS, optical image stabilization. That means that the sensor is kind of floating, so it's not stable. If you want to clean it, also with our cleaning swabs, we need to do a little trick. I'm going to show you that, how I do it. First, it's basically the same as with the M cameras. We just clean the housing with our towel that we also can use to clean glasses. Those are special towels that do not scratch, and they kind of take the dust with them. If it does not work, we can use a little lens cap with water filled, and we just can dip the towel a little bit. So at least this is what I do. Maybe people at home are now going, oh my God, why does he use water? The good thing about the SL body is that it's waterproof. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant, and you can be a little bit less careful with the water cleaning it, but still be careful. If you use also with the sensor and the lenses later, if you use the blowing thing here, I don't know the word, it's best you put the camera in a way that the dust can fall down. This looks pretty good. And now let's talk about the sensor. I'm going to take off the lens now. Oh, wow, this looks really dusty here, as we can see here. There is no test like in the M cameras with the SL cameras where you can check if there is dust on the lens. But of course, you can see sometimes when you have pictures, you have like this little really sharp dots. Those are on the center or on the inside of the lens. And a little bit more like out of focus blur stains are the ones on the outer side of the lens or on the filter. First, before we clean the sensor, we're gonna clean the mount. Also very important. So then, and we put the camera in a way that the dust can fall out. Now we can see it already looks much better. There's still one little mean thing here that does not go away. So we need to clean it with a cleaning swab. And this is the same one I used with the M. We have again this little sensor cleaning liquid, which you can buy on Amazon. And I'm gonna just use one before I clean it to show you, because I don't want to touch the sensor with my hands. Now the camera is turned off, and if I try to touch the sensor, you can see it moves. And for cleaning purposes, this is not a good thing. You need to have it stable. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the camera. Because the moment you turn on the camera, the IBIS is active and the sensor gets a little bit more stable. 1 or 2 drops, and we just put the drops on the edge here. Now you can see I can wipe it and it does not move because the IBIS holds the sensor. And again, like I told you in the M cameras, I sometimes use a second swab to just dry the sensor up if there is any sensor cleaner left. So now let's put on the lens cap and then we turn off the camera again. Let me also tell you with those cleaning swabs, which is important, the sensor size. You can buy those cleaning swabs on Amazon. I'm going to put a link in the description. The cleaning swabs have different sizes. So if you have a full frame camera, you need to be sure that you buy some for full frame. If you have an APS-C camera, just be sure you buy the right sizes of cleaning swabs. Most times with the cleaning swabs, the sensor cleaner liquid is included, but you can also buy this separate. Let's now go over to the lens. The lens has 2 sides we need to clean. It's basically the side that is mounted. Of course, we also clean the mount, and then we can use the same towel that we use for glasses. And here now we can see little dust particles, and these we can just blow away. Yeah, looks absolutely clean. And now we can clean the lens here. Then we look on the front side of the lens. I have no filter on it right now, so I just can wipe that off as well. And this is how we clean the SL, or how you basically clean every other camera brand. If you use a Nikon, for example, or a Sony, you clean it exactly the same way, because those cameras also have IBIS. I'm not sure if you're able to turn them on when you have no lens mounted. With the SL, it works. With the SL2, it worked as well. You just turn it on and then the sensor is stable. I'm not sure about that with the other brands. Maybe you put it in the comments. So if people have other brands, they know about that. Last but not least, we're gonna clean a Q camera, which is basically also just cleaning of the body. With the Qs, we have the advantage that they are weather sealed. So we can work also a little bit with water if we cannot get it cleaned. I have again here the dust situation because they were sitting on my shelf. As with every camera, I have a screen protector on the back, on the LED screen. It's a little bit of water to be really clean. I actually will not use those towels that you can use, those wet towels for glasses, because I don't know what's in the material they make it wet with. So if there's some aggressive chemical, I would not use them. I also do not use with my camera cleaning fluids that I would use to clean my monitors. I just don't trust that with my cameras because I have no idea if there's an acid in there that maybe harms the color. So I just use towel for glasses and a little bit of clean water. Let's now go to the lens. Here I also have a filter on it. I'm gonna clean that separate. Another trick, if you can take the filter off, you just press it against your hand and then you turn it. It works with every filter, with every camera size. Don't be afraid of touching the filter with your hand. Also, if you have 2 filters stacked on each other, just press on it, turn it, and all is well, you get it out. And with the Q, the dust only comes on the lens or between the lens and the filter because it is dust sealed, so there's no way that there's dust inside. When we look at the filter, actually very dusty. I'm gonna put that under the water, running water, and then a kitchen towel, and your filter will look like new. So then second cleaning. The moment before you put on the filter, also come again with air. Don't dust the filter over the lens because then it's possible that the dust drops on the lens. We don't want that. Then put this back on. Now my cameras are clean, and if you have any further questions, please put them in the comments. If I missed anything, or if I didn't mention anything, or if I was unclear with something, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're still afraid of cleaning your sensor, that is totally okay. Go to the photo store and they will do it for you, I'm sure. Let me also mention at this point that I am not responsible if you damage your sensor. If you do it the way I'm doing, the chances are minimal, but stuff always can happen. I didn't have a problem so far. I cleaned my sensor for years by myself, but it's an expensive piece of gear. Only do it if you're absolutely confident that you can do it and you are not afraid of it. But again, as they say, don't try it at home. I think you can try it at home, but it's your own responsibility. Please don't blame me if something doesn't work. We are all grown-ups here, so I'm pretty sure you are able to assess if you're capable of doing this or if you want to do it. And I really can stress, if you're afraid of it, don't do it. Go to a photo store. But what you can do for sure is you can subscribe to my channel. You can give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you want to know about Leica M cameras, check out this video. See you next time. Stay curious.